Well, we have another video from Moist Critical coming in saying I was wrong about this show. I think that he's going to be talking about the latest One Punch Man Season 3 fiasco and say it's just a doo-doo butter, baby shitty poopy in the diaper, and no one is wiping it. Let's see what he has to say.
Hold your horses. No, this video is not about One Punch Man Season
Gasp! What?
3. If anyone out there has eyeballs and you've unfortunately subjected them to the torture of One Punch Man Season 3, you probably know that not much has changed since the last video I made on it in terms of how disastrous this season.
When does this video come out? 21 hours ago. So I think that he's going to be talking about episode 8, won't he? I don't know when he recorded it. I like his Saitama figurine here though. Broly and a bunch of other here that I don't recognize in the background.
Has been. But I want to give credit where credit is due. The most recent episode, episode 8.
Yeah.
The first time this season, I felt like I was actually watching
an anime
series.
Yes.
We had a fight sequence with characters that actually moved in this episode.
Yes.
Whee! Yeah.
Not just moving, right? Because you can move somebody by dragging them down a hill of grass. But it's just like the frames were connecting. There was no still frames. There was no just simple moving mouth. There was actual like direction and artistic vision in how they made the fight come to life. And I'm just so happy at least we got one of those, man. And I think that might be it. I think that a lot of people are expecting this quality to stay into the rest of the season. I don't think so, right? I think that there's going to be one spike that happened. And you know what? Next week, episode 9, or in a couple days, they were hyping on episode 9. They were saying specifically that episode 5 and 9 are the ones to look for. That's what the producers said. Maybe they fucked up and meant to say episode 8. Because episode 5 was really just lackluster. That was the Gaara Orochi stuff. It was just, oh god. Episode 8 was really good. But episode 9, I mean, it should be, you know, Phoenix Man versus Child Emperor. And if they were hyping it up, then maybe it's going to be even better. Who knows, man? Maybe this is the standard quality all the way through and we're just fucking eating it up, or maybe it all just crashes and burns here.
Yeah, we fucking got there, baby. Anything is possible. This is the first episode where the fight scenes actually have motion. There are moments in the flashy flash fight that I think are really good. Is it perfect? No. But compared to the rest of the dog shit we've been fed, this was a gourmet meal of an episode. And I think what this shows, at least to me personally, is that JC staff can deliver quality at least to the same level they did in season 2 of One Punch Man, which in hindsight, pretty solid.
We're watching that right now. Check out, you know, Patreon and Twitch for early access. It'll be on YouTube pretty soon. Season 2 fights has been fucking amazing. We're on like episode 2. Gar versus Sonic. Like, I have no complaints. There's a couple of moments here and there which is a little wonky, like Saitama's, you know, serious like sidestep that was like cut abruptly, but overall it's just like, dude, you have season 2 episode quality happening in season 3. People be calling this shit peak.
But Bandai is the reason why season 3 is so shitty, because of lack of budget they were willing to allocate to the season, lack of time they gave JC staff to work on it. Somehow they still had it be just like rushed out and farted whatever they could get on the table. Even though it's been 6 years since season 2, I think Bandai is the main villain here that has caused season 3 to be so awful, so rough. In episode 8, I mean, yeah, at this point, no one is, you know, unfamiliar with this. I think everybody, if anything, you know, the whole stupid fucking drama happening has enlightened people that, like, yeah, production committees exist and they kind of have control over resource management, and usually due to them setting such a shitty fucking schedule and maybe even talent that they can't even acquire and basically just gathering up scraps. I'm sorry, right? This is not like the best director we could have gotten. It's kind of a mismatch. That's what happens. But even then, this guy can deliver, right? Shinpei Nagai has been disrespected as like just like a hentai artist, which is so stupid because there's plenty of, you know, people that's worked in that industry that's, you know, made peak anime. It's just character assassination off of tourist, you know, like what's called talking points. You give them enough time, they can actually do it. This recent episode was a really good episode. I enjoyed it a lot. I think that a lot of people still want to deny, you know, right? They want to be like, no, how can I figure something out to shit on this? And I'm sure you can nitpick and figure anything out, but at the end of the day, the episode was good. Doesn't mean that the entire season is good. I'm happy that we got the episode, but it's actually really funny how some people, it's like they need to figure out a way, how do I be more mad? It's just like, oh my god, there was a good episode. And then you have two reactions. I think the most reasonable people who are actual genuine fans are like, oh my god, thank you. Like, we got a good episode. This is fun.
and we move on. Doesn't mean that we, give immunity and clearance to everything that's happened throughout, this season 3. No, we don't forget that. We don't just say, oh my god, yeah, buy the fucking Blu-ray DVD. No. This has been a fucking slap in the face. But then you have the other side of people who they're like, nope, still garbage no matter what. Nope, this one good episode doesn't, change anything. Now you expect us to fucking eat this shit up because it's one good episode, and just like, damn. I just know that like you at the Thanksgiving's table, you must be the most miserable, lonely, depressing fuck. I would never want to be your friend. Like the way that you perceive the world and how you spread your negativity, and you're just like, it to such a toxic extent. It's just like, damn, no wonder you're just rage baiting online.
Is irrefutable evidence that JC Staff can deliver good quality animation.
These dudes just don't watch Danmachi, huh? They have no idea of is it wrong to pick up a girl in a dungeon. Now, that title might filter a lot of people off. How about Toru, a certain magical, index or a certain scientific railgun? There's this great moments from even Mugen Gacha happening right now. Like, JC Staff can absolutely deliver if it's the right production line, if it's the, appropriate scheduling. So, like, many people say, like, JC Staff, can't do shit and they only do just, like, mid-fucking slice-of-life rom-com. You know what? There's a lot of those. We watch that shit up and it's fun, but, like, come on now, that's not the entire fucking company.
If they have resources and time to do so, which Bandai deprived them of, just left them fucking emaciated, malnourished with no money and no time to work on it. But I was pleasantly surprised at the quality of episode 8. The flashy flash fight I thought was really solid overall. It doesn't salvage season 3, like it doesn't redeem it, but it is a nice treat. There's only a handful of episodes left in season 3, so this is very tardy to the party here. This would be like me finally hitting a growth spurt.
This kind of feels like Blue Lock season 2 all over again, doesn't it not, guys? I mean, not really. I mean, listen. Basically, we're in the U20 arc now. We're in the U20 arc, and Shiro is popping off. He's talking about how he wants to knock up the soccer ball, the net, and then the soccer ball says fucking nut. And we're getting a fucking bicycle kick with fucking pink wings coming out with this crazy direction. We're like, oh my god, where did this come from, huh? And now, as we reach the end, are we gonna get a finale episode like that? Could you imagine? I think that if we get a finale, Blue Lock season 2 finale quality cut in One Punch Man season 3 at the end, I think that would do wonders for the hope of the franchise and definitely like lessen the amount of damage. I think if anything, Blue Lock has definitely proven that no matter how garbage something is, if you end it really strong, many people forget. Straight up. Where the fuck was Nicholas Light during the Blue Lock's fiasco? I think he was busy doing something else. I just feel like Blue Lock should have gotten even more hate than One Punch Man, considering how many episodes there was. Right? It's fucking like 2 quarters of just fucking garbage happening, wasn't it? I don't know.
Reaching 6 feet tall by the time I'm 85 years old. At the ripe age of 85, I'm finally living my dream of being 6 feet tall. But it's
too late.
A little late.
Yeah.
Kind of cool anyway, I guess.
Better late than never? I mean, I'll take it. It's better than nothing, but would have preferred it to happen earlier.
Though, point is, I'm glad episode 8 was good. It's finally a step in the right direction. And maybe I'm just suckling on the supple bosom of hopium. Maybe I'm just latched onto the titty here. But maybe this is a sneak peek at things to come, that the next handful of episodes,
maybe
it's going to finish on a high note instead of this sad whimper that the rest of the season has been.
I hope that too. And it's so funny that when you say something like this, people immediately shit on you and say, wow, you're a fucking simp. You have no backbone. You are the reason why Bandai Namco's getting away with it. It's like people are so fucking... They're so radicalized due to their hate and frustration for this show that they can't even hope for something good anymore. And it's such a sad state of affairs within, the anime community that I'm seeing online. And it goes to show that, yeah, that's what happens when such a shitty experience like this happen and fans are really, really let down, that like they're so broken and they can't even think in a positive light anymore. But that's how losers think. Don't think like a loser.
Probably unlikely, but who knows? What I do know is that we here at Cheeky decided to extend the Black Friday sales offer to today. So today will be the final day for the 20% off of all of our soaps using any creator codes. So go to cheeky.com right now to get the best soap in the universe at an incredible deal. Anyway, like I said, this video is not even about One Punch Man, but I wanted to mention that really quick. This video is actually about a different anime. One that a while ago I said I didn't like. And I dropped it after like
what is it?
5 or so episodes. It just wasn't hitting for me. But recently, I wanted to give it another shake, another spin, because I've seen perpetual glaze for it, and I thought, let's just really commit to it and let's watch the series.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really
What
like
is it?
FRIEREN. FRIEREN.
Nah, not FRIEREN. That's the English dub shit. No, it's FRIEREN. FRIEREN. Yeah, elite apps. So fucking Lily, we're doing a rewatch of that show right now. And listen, it's kind of chopped in terms of performance, and it's to be expected. It's a rewatch for such a chill show that honestly doesn't need that much revisiting. If you're a Jujutsu Kaisen fan, by the way, I think that you have a good month coming up for you, because I'm about to double down on my mistakes. I'm about to fucking say fuck the analytics and fucking invest into Jujutsu Kaisen season 1, season 2, and the movie reaction all throughout December. In fact, it's coming. Just fucking be ready for that shit. But yeah, FRIEREN, upon my second watch right now, man, the attention to detail and the quality is such a whiplash from watching this like One Punch Man versus FRIEREN. It goes to show that Madhouse really fucking locked in their lab for years, doing nothing but focusing on one thing, and then they delivered such a, I would say, a generational success. I don't think it's that crazy to say that the #1 ranked anime is still on my anime list. That's been praised so hard. That's gotten such crazy outreach. That's gotten so mainstream without it being a battle shonen. Yeah, I think that it is definitely like a generational anime.
Is a show that I'm sure you've probably heard of in some capacity because people love this show. And when I initially watched it when it first came out, I just had a hard time getting into it. Like, it was a very nice
slow
looking show and it was very comfy and cozy, but I just wasn't getting invested into the world or the characters. But I just keep seeing and have always seen so much
memes,
praise for it
that
I just thought, you know what, let's just watch the whole thing, and if it's really not for me, it's not for me, but at least I, you know, consumed the entire thing to know for sure. Which is typically not a philosophy I subscribe to. I think, you know, like One Piece, for example. It
gets better at episode 327, man. What are you doing? You just got started. What? Come on. No, I think One Piece gets good like right away. I think that immediately One Piece is fucking amazing. But yeah, if you're not like compelled by a show by the first like 2 to 3 episodes, I don't think there's anything wrong with you dropping it. I think that, you know, there's so many shows to watch and little time that we have in our busy days that, I get it. You want to prioritize something else.
Out of spite, committed to watching the entire One Piece series, but it took me like fucking 400 episodes to fall in love with it. I don't think it's reasonable or rational to expect everyone else to go through with that level of headstrong commitment for something that you weren't, you know, immediately loving. I think it's totally okay to drop something after a few episodes if it's just not feeling like it vibes with you.
Like, if you don't have fun watching something, don't watch it, no matter how praised the show is, right? Like, at the end of the day, it's just supposed to be for fun. If you're not having fun, what the fuck are you doing? And that's where I come in. I come in and I will fucking eat that shit up no matter what and put a smile on my face and deliver you some content. Such that even if you don't want to watch an anime by yourself, maybe you're interested and you watch a reaction and you're like, you know what, that wasn't so bad after all. There's been a lot of fucking slop seasonal content that's been like that in an audience that's been created where they're like, bro, I ain't gonna waste my fucking time watching this garbage on my own. But I know you cover it. I might check the video out and then maybe I'll actually watch it. I'm like, yep, well, you're welcome.
For FRIEREN, I just continue to see amazing things. So I said, let's do it. I want to give it another shot. And I'm really happy I did. Okay. Because this time around, I genuinely thought it was like a masterpiece. I think FRIEREN is incredible. And now I'm
Why is it a masterpiece?
For season 2. I think it was such an amazing experience.
Tell me why.
I don't know what demon crawled up my ass the first time I watched this, but it must have been clouding my vision with sin and folly. Because I was a big dummy back then, I suppose. And
I wish you would tell us exactly what episode he dropped it and exactly where it compelled him. I think for a lot of people, the first couple episodes is not very compelling if you don't relate to this existential crisis of getting older as, you know, people start to fade away from your life and you're supposed to remember, you know, these memories and to cherish the present, right? A lot of children, I feel like, don't really care about that shit because obviously they're still in school and don't really understand this concept, and they only get excited when they see Stark, you know, one-shot the dragon and then the demon stub with Lugner and then obviously the Academy, you know, license arc where things are fucking hype and action and a little bit more shonen elements are applied to it.
Looking back on it, it's weird because I've never had an issue with slow burn in media, whether it's games, movies, shows. In fact, some of my favorite are more of a slow burn experience, which FRIEREN definitely is. But I don't know, I guess just initially I didn't get hooked by the concept, and FRIEREN as a character wasn't someone that I felt I could like care about across many episodes.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably because the show does something I don't think any other shows I've ever seen have done. It starts you at the end of a hero's journey. FRIEREN's previous party had just completed the major task, defeating the ultimate evil, saving the world. You as the viewer don't get to see that happen.
Yeah, and you're kind of like, what? I missed out on the content. The fuck? This is New Game Plus? You already beat the Demon King? What the fuck am I watching this anime for? It turns out, not every fucking anime needs to be some sort of isekai where you're summoned to beat the Demon King and the entire fucking anime is a journey to do that. No. I think that the way FRIEREN handles, stuff beyond, what happened after slaying the Demon King is more fascinating. And I love how they also still, though, include the Demon King stuff with like the 7 Maleficent sages, right? The Malevolent? I forget. But there's like the 7 sages, and demon generals that keep coming back, like Aura, for example. And I think that in the future seasons, maybe we're going to have even more foes to fight against that. So that's kind of cool.
You don't watch the show that focused on that hero's journey. You are watching the show of what happens next through the eyes of FRIEREN, who is an immortal being. She is an elf. So the 10 years they spent on that journey saving the world, that's not even a blip on the radar of her overall lifespan.
1/100th.
And the way she views
less
the world
than.
around her is like very distant and removed emotionally, because everything she is experiencing is so trivial in the grand scheme of her never-ending life. Her extraordinarily long life, all of this will be meaningless at some point. So she's very apathetic. There was a comparison I drew on my first watch that I still think is somewhat applicable, where there is a game, an amazing game I played a long time ago on the Xbox 360 called Lost Odyssey, that kind of tackles occasionally similar things as FRIEREN through like some short stories in the game. And I don't know, I think maybe I just got the wrong impression for what the show was really about and where the show was going, because I didn't give it enough of a chance. But I'm just so happy I went back to watch FRIEREN, because this show really is special.
Yeah.
And even the first 4 or 5 episodes this time around, I was a lot more gripped by. And the show does
gripping on
really
Daddy?
gather a lot of steam after you get through like the initial building blocks and the foundation that it lays. My initial impressions of FRIEREN was that she was just going to be like kind of a generic stoic character, an immortal, where like everyone she could ever care about will die, so what's the point in caring? Which is something I've seen in other shows where they have like a character that feels kind of like a robot, like an emotionless husk. And I thought that's what they were setting FRIEREN up to be, where eventually they'd start to like crack that
I think that even in like by episode 2 or 3, by the end of like Hyder and taking on Fern, we're already seeing the development that FRIEREN like actually cares, that like, okay, he's gonna take him in, or like the fact that he even visited Hyder, right? I think even in the first like 5 episodes, you already see the impact of Himmel's death and how FRIEREN wants to like know more about the people around her.
Slowly but surely, she is immortal. Time is very different to her, but she has emotions. She has tons of emotions, and she conveys them in her own way, and she subtly changes as well in her own way as a result of all of her experiences and everyone that she meets. And she starts to have regrets, and she starts to care to learn about these people that she has a party with. So it's a very cool growth to see across the season, and I just think the show is beautifully done. It has action too. It's not like just dialogue and doing chores. Granted, a lot of it is them making stops in their journey to do certain things, but the stops are also a really valuable experience too.
That's the fun.
Not like boring or anything. I actually think some of the stops are the most memorable parts of the show, with what you get to learn.
A lot of people really don't care about them being stuck at a town for fucking 3 months, just moving boxes around. But like, there's more to the show than just that. If the only thing that you can see from these, slice of life moments is just like the manual labor and them, just passing time, I think that you are not watching this show with an open mind. I think that you have a very closed mind perspective, and you just want to see some fucking magic beams happen, because there's so much going on through the character acting and the dialogue that's meaningful.
And what comes from their experiences at these stops, where she's like collecting grimoires and whatever is payment. It's just unlike anything I'd seen before, and I think my initial impressions were that it was going to be like kind of boring, maybe even slice of lifey, so I just maybe didn't tune out and connect with the themes. But going back this time around, man, it fucking hits.
Nah, he's just a fucking grifter, bro. He don't care about this shit. He just wants to make videos about FRIEREN Season 2 when, you know, January comes around for more video views. That's exactly what Moist Critical is doing. Don't you for a second think that this is a genuine anime fan. This is a filthy tourist who doesn't actually care about the medium and blame JC staff for everything. That's right. Nah. You really think a guy with fucking 17.5 million subs can casually fucking do a one-take fucking 10-minute video about this commentary getting 1.2 million views cares about fucking clout from FRIEREN? He can shut out any other video, get the fucking views. I'm just glad that like he's appreciating it for what it is.
Time has always been like a very grand, scary concept to me. In fact, 2 of my tattoos are time-oriented pieces, as corny as that sounds. It's just so interesting the things you can play with in this ballpark when it comes to time. And the way FRIEREN uses it with her, I think is brilliant. The show is just truly a complete package. It is visually breathtaking. I think they've knocked it out of the park with the animation. The emotional beats really resonate with viewers clearly because it's like one of the top rated anime of all time. But like even me personally,
and it's so crazy to me that a show like FRIEREN succeeded as hard as like Demon Slayer could, you know? Maybe that's a crazy comparison to make just because I'm looking at the ratings on my anime list, but what I'm trying to say is it's quite rare, I think, for a show like FRIEREN to appeal to this level of mainstream audience. Like when something like Demon Slayer pops up, or like Solo Leveling, you know, you kind of have an expectation that like, yeah, this is gonna fucking bang. Why? Because bulk of the audience are, you know, young impressionable children who want to see flashy shit and cool characters, right? And sexy fan service. And the more that it is kind of like catering towards that type of, you know, common denominator, maybe the lowest hanging fruit, Battle Shonen, which I fucking love, the bigger it's gonna do, right? I'm not sure if you have any other friends that are kind of casual anime watchers that don't really understand what even seasonal anime is, but every once in a while, they'll be told, yo, you've been watching that Dan 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 anime? And you're like, what the fuck? You watching Dan Dan Dan? You know, and you know, word gets out because something is so, you know, mainstream. And for FRIEREN to do that, despite it being such a slow burn existential crisis show in the beginning, that I feel like a lot of kids wouldn't understand. I think that it really reached the heart of some of the older, mature audience that's been growing up with anime and found something different. Something that isn't just flashy bullshit, but actually some depth in the dialogue and a existential, you know, meaningful life lesson that we can all kind of take into our hearts. And then on top of that, to then do the boom boom flashy stuff that we know that FRIEREN can do. So it's cool to me that like an anime like this can succeed.
A lot of like the themes that we're coming across, like they do hit, and it feels very poignant. Like it is a well executed show when it comes to its emotional moments, and its characters I feel like have a lot of depth and are very well fleshed out and established, and it makes you care about them and their journey. And it does also have action, and I think the action is great.
Top notch, like extremely good.
I'll probably wait to do a full review on FRIEREN after season 2 because it's right around the corner. But for now, I just wanted to put this out here about how wrong I was with my initial impressions of FRIEREN. This show slaps. I think FRIEREN is a masterpiece. So I definitely get the glaze now. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's about it. So yeah.
That's cool. I don't know what masterpiece means to you guys. Maybe it means something perfect. I feel like, you know, any show has its flaws. As long as it's created by humans, it is, you know, it has flaws. But I wouldn't be against it to say FRIEREN is a masterpiece. It's definitely a 9 point something in my scale, right? And we're doing a second watch right now. Check out the playlist for some FRIEREN, you know, reactions if you care about some sort of like understanding of what the hell was going on in the plots. But yeah, overall, just like an amazing, godlike anime that has just graced us. And it is proof that like in the current climate of the anime industry, where everything is just profit driven and sacrificing the quality of art, where amazing IPs get butchered like One Punch Man, there can exist some miracles in the storm where passionate team has appropriate scheduling and, you know, can actually work to create the art without being incentivized by shitty production committees to just, you know, fill in their fucking pockets with the cheapest fucking outcome possible. So it's good to see. Waiting for season 2 to happen. I'm sure it's going to be even better. Please check out Moist Critical. With your help, maybe this small anime YouTuber can reach 18 million subscribers, guys. Go check him out. Give the video a like. I'll see you guys next time.